Pasha Paroh, thank you for tuning. About 3:08 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, put the '08 on it because this video is all about critics of completeness, unpacking the fear of projection, right? So let's get to it, man. It's such an irony to see the comments, right? The feedback you get from a certain mentality of people in regards to what they label as perfection. And in speaking to a lot of people, first of all, for those who don't know me, I'm Pasha Paroh, critical solutions expert. All right. Reducing codependency of big government, large corporations by empowering we the people to create sustainable communities. All right. So one of the ways, one of the journeys we have to go on to get to that position is we must address mental health, awareness, and emotional intelligence. In today's society, full of gaslighting, manipulation, narcissistic behavior, normative social influence, people really don't know what they don't know, right? And it's a very interesting dynamic. Okay, let's take a look at this. Now, I'm mixing it up for y'all. I'm going to places I don't normally go. Y'all know I'm not religious, but yes, let's look at this quote here from 1 Corinthians 13:10 that states, "When the perfect comes, the imperfect disappear." When the perfect comes, the imperfect disappear. And we're going to tie this into business. We're going to tie this into personal. We're going to tie this into the hypocrisy of the whole conversation to begin with, from people who are complaining or have complaints about perfectionists. And we're gonna shut this down today. Okay? That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna shut that down. We're gonna give you the tools to maintain your self-confidence from people who are gaslighting you, for you trying to perfect your life, for you trying to become better than you were yesterday, for you to be in a position where you're wanting to deliver the highest quality product you can to your clients and be the best in your industry, and someone's ridiculing you for being what they want to slap a label on of perfectionist with their in ignorance. This video is going to help you rise above that. All right? When the perfect comes, the imperfect disappear. And with that said a different way, because there's different versions of that story, that book. Here's another way. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. You'll be surprised when you look like you don't know something, but you know more than the medical professional with the degree. The gaslighting that pours out, the tell the wrong person you have a 34 Wonderlic score. They will try to tear you down about how a score don't mean nothing, all this stuff, but yet they only in the position they are in because they got a certain score on some tests over 8 to 20 years. They were able to take the slow road and go to school for 8 years so somebody can tell them they know something. And then they're going to demonize you for having the same score. People want to put you down for having a 34-100 score because you said you're top 2% in the nation. But then when you ask them why they bought a certain car, it's because it has the highest safety rating in America. So you do like scores. You see, but this is the problem with hypocrisy. People don't realize how ignorant they sound sometimes. And then they gaslight you to try and save their own mental insanity. Like, concise is part. It's incomplete. It's not the full view. Everybody that's followed me know this view out the window from the top of the tower. Obviously, with the fog in this photo, you don't know where you at. So if you were walking along and there was not a window here because you didn't have the full view, you might step off the edge hundreds of feet up in the air and fall because you didn't have a full view, but you like it that way, right? Because you didn't want the clarity, you didn't want the perfectionist. See? That's why they got a problem. Oh my God, they sent a text. It was, nobody told you have a little phone, right? We don't know how big your phone screen is. We don't care. We're sending you the full message. We want you to have clarity. They sent the message. It was 4 texts long. Yeah, because that's what my thought was. My thought was 4 texts long. We wanted you to have clarity. Well, you don't got to be perfect. Just say ... Yeah, and then you don't know. But see, you're comfortable with not knowing. Who taught you to believe instead of know? Then you're going to assume what somebody telling you. Then when you pick up the wrong shit from the store, then they upset with you. But you like, well, you didn't say. But then when they do say you said too much. You see how you don't know you're not making sense? They don't know they're not making sense. So then we go into this insecurity, right? This struggle, this fear of comparison. That's what happens with some of these people. They're struggling with their own self-esteem. They may feel threatened by those who pursue perfection. They may fear being compared unfavorably or judged, leading to resentment. Why? Why? When you really ask yourself why? Like I can tell you why. I'm the right one to have this conversation. Okay? When you put in 20, 30 years of study on a particular topic, meaning while they were at the club partying, you were at the club studying the psychology of partying. When they were watching sports on TV, you was inquiring the psychology of what makes you sit there for 3 hours, wasting 3 hours on something that ain't got nothing to do with you. What makes you say, my team, when you ain't got no ownership of it? What makes you say, my team, when you don't even have a role on the team? What connects you to something that's nothing to you? Right? So you pick the situation in life. I was studying it. If you've been in my circle, I'm not even talking about in my circle. I'm talking about in my vicinity. If you've been in my line of sight, you've been studied. I study all of humanity. I study nature. Because the truth is omnipresent. That's why many people don't know nothing. because their truth was what they paid for at some college or university that didn't give a crap about who they were and just wanted to stamp them with a manufacturer certificate of origin that they uploaded their IP into their brain, and they're now a program zombie representing this alumni. But you're proud of that because you spent $84,000 a year for 7 years because you were half retarded and you had to go back an extra year to get your fucking degree. So you gonna talk shit about somebody who learned from the streets, who didn't need 8 years of someone else telling them, you might know this if you do this. No, we went and did it. And we fell and we got back up, and we fell and we got back up, and we learned the truth from observation. And you've been programmed probably with a bunch of bullshit and don't know it. So you mad at us because you mad you paid $574,000 and you don't know shit. So you gonna stop hating on my people and the people like me. And I'm gonna give you the list of who they are, because you don't realize how ignorant you sound. Because when you go to these people, you absolutely want perfection in their service when they deliver it to you. So what are you crying about people who striving for perfection? Oh, we're gonna show you. Somebody kicking your door, Mr. or Mrs. We shouldn't have guns. Somebody kicking your door at 5 a.m. Let the police say they took a wrong turn in responding to the call. You would expect them to be perfect in their arrival. Let them tell you they went to the wrong house. Where's the oh, it's okay, perfection is not needed in the world. It's a sin, it's a crime. Where's it gonna be at then? What are you gonna say? Right. But when Pasha says to you, hey, look, you kind of sound like, a little crazy. It's kind of insane. You're being toxic and you don't know it. You're gaslighting society and you're brainwashing a bunch of your ignorant followers. And I'm not saying it as like a negative, like an attack. The word ignorant is not, you don't know. But then you got all these emotions, and your emotions mess up everything. That's why you're in a position where you don't know. And then when you talk to somebody who do know, you want to ridicule and get mad at them because they know, they took the time to know what you run around pretending to know because you don't know what you don't know. You see how dumb this shit is? It's pressure for you. We didn't make the pressure. You brought the pressure on yourself. You the one that went out there and became Mr. or Mrs. Popularity, stealing people's ideas so that you can remain relevant, having your talk shows and having your post on the social media because you popular. You the one that spent $500 a day broadcasting your advertising your network and your channel so that you can grow following, instead of spending on a book to read so you knew what you was talking about. Then we come along oblivious to your emotional disproportions with reality, and then we talk to you about the truth and you get offended because you clutching yourself at night like in the picture here, shamed. We didn't know you were shamed. We thought we could talk to you about the truth. You up here talking about you expert in ABCD and don't know shit about C or D. How you gonna put all that up there? That's not real. That's not true. That's your own fault. That's your doing. We didn't know that when we started talking. Nobody wakes up at whenever I ain't been to sleep. So the people that go to sleep and get up every day, hey, look, whatever, right? But I don't think very few people wake up and say, at 4:30 on my calendar today, I'm gonna make such and such realize that they don't know what they talking about. Nobody does that. We saw the shit. We went to comment on your shit. We didn't realize you were bullshit. You don't know what you don't know. That's cool, but just learn something instead of like being offended. It's pressure on you. This is the standards are too high for you when you think about what's being set by perfectionists, it can create the environment of pressure. That's what's happening to you. We didn't realize we didn't turn the barometer up on you. Others may feel compelled to meet those standards, which can lead to frustration and backlash. Right? So now you're dealing with all this emotional shit because you're emotional, because you built everything you got off emotion, no attachments from people who didn't know any better, instead of building it on truth. And then you want to blame us for wanting to talk to you about the truth, and we didn't know you didn't know. Right? And that leads to that comes from different values and priorities. Remember, your value and priority was, let's be popular. Let me get 10,000 followers. That was what you valued. Right? Your value said, let me go to school because that's what society say I should do. Right? Not everyone values perfection or high quality, right? Think about that the next time you want to get your brakes done. When you go to hit the brakes and they don't work, just remember, not everyone values perfection or high quality in the same way, right? Some of you prioritize creativity, innovation, or speed over the meticulousness, and it leads to a clash in work and social settings. But just remember, they did your brakes in 20 minutes, but you can't stop when you're doing 80 miles an hour. But that's what you're okay with, right? Right? Ain't that what you're saying? You got a different value and priorities. You're not concerned with making sure your brakes are perfectly installed, right? What about your work-life balance? See, perfectionists may be seen as overly dedicated or lacking balance, causing others to perceive them as workaholics or neglectful of personal relationships. Right? Right? I mean, don't be shamed now. That's what you think. So the protection mentality, because the brain wants to justify what it wants to believe, right? We got to go into, it must be something wrong with them. It must be something wrong with the perfectionist. So we're going to say that they have we're perceiving them as arrogant. Their attitude and demeanor, right? Some people may interpret a perfectionist's drive for quality as arrogance or elitism. Yeah, that's evil. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Don't make my burger like it looks like in the picture. How dare you try to be perfect with my sandwich? Don't give me the hot fries. I want the cold warped ones with no salt so I can get halfway back to the house and have to come back and complain and tell you don't know how to do your job through the drive-through window. That's what they want to see. That's what they want. And as soon as it happens to them, what do? They tell you how you're supposed to be perfect. But when you say I'm striving for perfection, or I'm really good and I know I'm perfect at what I do, or I work really hard not to make mistakes, or anything that sounds like you trying to be good, they got a problem with it. But the irony, It's so ironic how when they get what they want, they're so offended by what they said they want in life. And you wonder why people like me are calling you insane. So if perfectionist comes across as critical of others' work or demanding, it can create animosity. So I guess the moment you switch and complain about your food at the drive-thru window, you became what you hate the most. Oh no, but I say it differently. It's the communication style. Well, if perfectionists express their standards in a harsh or condescending manner, it's subjective. Because that's your emotional ass interpreting what they said with a negative appeal so they can fit your want to have something to blame them for it. Instead of listening to what they're saying so that you can improve or make the sandwich right. Well, it alienates those who might otherwise support their goals. So you're emotional. Because if you're saying on one end, well, I would support them if they didn't say it like this or be like that or wear their glasses or their hat like this, well, fuck you. Because how are you going to say you would support if that means you're not supporting? So just make the statement be true and say you hate it. Just say you hate it. You mad. Say that. Don't blame them. Find out what it is about you and fix that shit. Right? Or is that too good to be, oh, that's too good to be true. Right? Is that what it is? Can we be honest in the comments? Because the haters got a lot to say and on their pages, on their posts, right? I invite you here to have the discussion. But you don't show up. Right? Why? Because you got a fear of failure. And you know you're wrong. But you also know how to move people emotionally that don't know any better, some of you. So you what you do is you avoid the risk. That's why you don't say nothing to me. That's why you quiet when I post something, but talk behind my back. That's why you quiet when I'm in the room and you wait till I leave, like Smokey and Debo. I never wanted to be Debo. I wanted to talk to you. Be like, Debo going on, I'll be quiet. But when he gone, I'll be talking again. Like, fuck that motherfucker, man. He be. That's ignorance. That's your fear. That's your fear of failure coming out in those moments. I'm used to talking to subject matter experts. We call them SMEs. That means they should know more than I do in a particular topic, and we're going to extract the information from them so we can perfect this multi-million-dollar project we're working on, because we're comfortable with admitting there's things I don't know what I don't know. Let me talk to the people who do, so I can put this project together and it be perfect. Little bitches. Crying because somebody said we can do better. How you gonna be crying because someone said we can do better? Perfectionists often set high standards that can be intimidating to others. This can lead to a fear of failure among peers. would be what you would want to say, causing them to push back against perfectionism as a defense mechanism. But guess what? If it leads to a failure, a fear of failure in that moment, what it's telling you is y'all not on the same level. So they're not your peers. But see, what they want to do is they want to be position themselves in their mind as they want to be equal to you, or they want to perceive themselves as greater than. This is what people who don't have power do. See, the reason you don't see me in a suit and tie, even when I had the bank to get the best flyest suit and ties every day, the reason why you never saw me in one like that for decades, I probably wore a jacket maybe 4 or 5 times in my whole life. When I was doing photography, it's really why I didn't want to do. I did the elite events, but I did the elite hood events because I really didn't like that uppity shit where they want to come in suit and tie events. Man, look, my guy can go to that. He liked that sort of stuff. He liked that crowd. I'm from the hood. Expect that the most you might get out of me is a button down at the time Rockaware. Maybe I wear a button up Coogee with the wings on the shoulders. I'm coming like that. Check out our ambitious clothing line we bring in. We're taking this shit to new levels. Y'all ain't seen nothing like this before. Shout out my man Devar. So they not your peers. So what they want to do is, because they can't see themselves in alignment with you, they're ignorant as must think that you below them. So, perfectionist must be something wrong with it because I can't align with being perfect. So it must be a sin to try and be better tomorrow than you were today. Oh, nobody's perfect. But then they be at church on Sunday talking about God made the world perfect or stuff like that, and you're wondering, well, which one is it? If your God make everything perfect, and depending on what you believe, he or she made you, how you gonna be saying you not perfect? How you gonna be mad at the person who's saying that they are perfect? Because perfect don't mean you the best you'll ever be. Perfect means you're exactly where you're supposed to be in this moment. But y'all too ignorant to understand that concept. Y'all just want to attack people for no reason because you mad and hate your life. So you want to attack people, but because you say it nicely and you gaslighting them instead of being like direct and truthful, you feel like you see how retarded that is? But you don't know you're retarded. You don't know that you have the mental imbalance. You don't know that you're bipolar. So you call us bipolar because we appear to be something that you're not, because you don't know what you're supposed to be, right? So stagnation is where you're at. Some individuals may believe that striving for perfection can lead to stagnation. This is if you're trying to be perfect, like you're gonna be there and you're just gonna stay there. I'm gonna get moving, I'm gonna get going, which is cool. Because you can tell they don't know what perfection is. They don't understand what research and development is. Your car company, the car that you drove probably was in R&D for 2 to 5 years before they launched the model, if it's a brand new model, because they had to make sure they got it all right. Oh, wait, they were trying to make it perfect. So when you got it, it wouldn't fuck up on you when you paid $130,000 for your Porsche. But during the time they were doing that, it would have appeared they were being stagnant because they didn't release it yet. Because they wanted it to be the best that it could be. So you would have a problem with that, wouldn't you? Right? So I know when you went and bought your $130,000 Porsche, I know you said, it took you too long to make this, so you should give it to me for 75. I know you told the dealer that when you went and paid and got your $130,000 Porsche. I know you told him it took too long, so you got yours for 75, right? Because perfectionist is wrong. So they were being wrong to take so long with your perfect Porsche that you said mine should be half off. And if you don't give me 50% off because you took so long to make it, I don't want it. That's what you told them, right? But that's why you driving it. You driving it now, ain't you? Oh, you paid full price, didn't you? Oh. So what are you arguing about on the internet? What are you pushing on them keystrokes for? What are you tapping your phone 10,000 times, making these messages that you ain't living by? Why are you making quotes you don't stand on? Why you got people believing you something you're not because it sound good? We didn't know we were fake when we pulled up to your post and typed in the truth. We didn't know you were fake. We didn't know you were fake when we sent the connection request or we got the connection request from you. We didn't know we were going to offend you by being true. Some individuals, like I said, going back to the notes here, may believe that striving for perfection can lead to stagnation or paralysis in decision making, preferring a more flexible approach to tasks. No, that's just paralysis or stagnation in decision making. That means that they don't have good decision making skills. That's not being a perfectionist. That's something else. That tells you what it is. Matter of fact, you tell yourself what it is, but you try to label it as perfectionist or trying to be perfect so that it fits your projection issues. But you told yourself what the problem was, is stagnation or paralysis in decision making. Which is actually why some of y'all is consistently going in the wrong direction. Because you had stagnation or paralysis in a decision to learn how to improve, so you still fucking up. Like I said, man, I do branding. I'm a brand evoker. I don't just draw pictures. It comes easy because I put in decades of studying y'all, all of y'all, globally. That's why I say things you don't understand sometimes, because you haven't done your research, you haven't done your homework. I just wish we could get more people to lose the emotional shit and learn how to talk. Don't come to my page, read my posts, be offended, and think you're gonna go back to your page and post some shit about what I said, and because you didn't put my name on it, that I'm not gonna be like, let's contest that. Let's contest that bullshit, because I want the exercise. I like the practice, because see, that helps me learn. That helps me make sure that I'm being true, because if there's anything that you can say that proves me wrong in some angle, meaning not wrong in a variable, but wrong in the equation, then I want to know. So I'm testing that. But see, that's the BS. Because when it's your friends, you call it a peer review. When you're in the scientific community and you got your little PhD and you went to school for 24 years, you send your paper over to your friend because you know they like you, and you say, "Hey, buddy, I need you to peer review this for me. Give me a thumbs up because I'm trying to move up in the world. So I sent it to you to review because I know you're gonna like it because it's me." That's a peer review. Unless you start telling the truth that the industry don't want out, then they try to blackball you. See, I didn't get the seat in the peer review because I was telling the truth so they didn't want to let me in these different industries. But I don't care because I never really wanted to be a part of that shit anyway. I'm more focused on the truth. I had somebody yesterday that I got rid of the day before tell me and asking me why I got rid of them. What did they do? Knowing they know what they did. Later on in that conversation, they're like, "Well, I was kind of like interviewing you for a position in my organization." Well, I don't want to join your group, bro. Like, you got trust issues. I don't want to be a part of that shit because I can't trust you. And I looked at your organization and they not true. But don't feel bad. Don't come at me after you want to get a sound bite or a screenshot. So you want to proposition shit. Like, I'm too good for your organization. But I don't use that energy until you start bullshitting me. I'm really kind of peaceful and just want to, you know what I mean? I'm enlightened. But when you want to attack me with the gaslighting, oh, I can shoot back. I had my rifle merit badge at 12 years old. We had to put 3 shots under a quarter and then 3 shots under a nickel from 50 yards. I've been shooting a camera in photography in high-end, high-level environments and quality for over 13 years. I've been shooting my whole life. I don't miss. I've won 3 of my own court cases. I feel sorry for you all when you try to come at me with bullshit because I don't make arguments I won't win. And you haven't learned that yet. You haven't learned the value of truth. So test me if you want to. You will be having a fear of comparison, like we showed in the beginning, and you'll be blocking me on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, just like the rest of them. You'll be watching my posts, you'll be seeing what I'm talking about, and you'll be trying to take the information and you'll be going over there on your post, either trying to talk shit about it or trying to share it like it's your original thought, but you got it from me. So guess what? Either way, you work for me. Everybody work for me as long as they do them. I'm going to find out what you do, and you're going to work for me too. It's that simple. Because it's always the perfect day. And if you can't be true, that's what happens. The Most High, the universe, whatever you want to say, manipulates you with your own greed, your own narcissist, your own whatever, and you still become a puppet. Because you're addicted. Your addiction makes you become the puppet. You become exactly what you hate. And I just put you in position to make your own choice in the perfection of the Most High. Right? So now that we got that on the table, we can go into cultural norms. Because in some cultures, there's a stronger emphasis on collective achievement rather than individual perfection, right? Leading to a disconnect between professionals and their peers. But here's the irony of that. If you want to have a culture of strong emphasis on collective achievement, don't you want each member of your team to be the best that they can be, to become part of the best team? To form the best team. So you want each member to be as close to perfect as you see them as possible. Ain't that why you went through 270 candidates before you hired such and so last month? Because you were looking for the most perfect fit. Oh, but if you didn't want perfect, why didn't you just hire the first application you got? Because you're a hypocrite and you don't know what you're talking about, and all you do is talk emotion, helping you get some emotional connection from people who don't know shit. Group dynamics can play a role as individuals may bond over shared struggles or mediocrity, creating the us versus them mentality against those who aim for higher standards. Think about that for a moment. The irony of how some people criticize those for striving for perfection while expecting perfection in their own lives. Consider the following brain-bending bullet points given to you by Pasha Paroh. This is why y'all don't like my post. It hurts your brain. This is why I celebrate the people who get it. I'll go through 1,000 people to get to 20. I'll go through 1,000 people to get to 20. You want to play nice, because you don't know what the word nice means. You want to play nice with all 1,000 because you want to look up and say, I got 1,000 followers. And none of y'all know what you're talking about on your post. You posted it. You got 700 comments. None of them are the truth. They all out in space because nobody knows the truth. Y'all all emotional. And that's a problem in business, professional relationships, and it's called normative social influence, and that's what's destroying your economy. I'm branding America. And in America, we don't want that shit. Because it stifles innovation. It means you won't communicate. It means you're going to shut down when we need you the most. It means a whole bunch of shit that we don't want in our nation. Contradictory expectations. Double standards. Like I said, the irony to criticize those aiming for perfection while also expecting flawless service from professionals, whether it's a surgeon, a mechanic, or a financial advisor. If perfection isn't important, why do you demand it from others? Nah, see, what it is, you had a whole bunch of pacification in your life. You had a whole bunch of people just giving you participation trophies for coming in 7th place. See, I went to the National Science Olympiad competition. I got 3 top 10 event finishes, medals, as a youth. The highest one, 3rd place in the nation. I understand why when I say something, 98% of the population ain't built to receive it. But I don't make you feel less than until you attack me for what you don't know. See, because that's what people do. They want to poke you. They want to poke you. And then cry that they the victim when you slap the shit out of them. So if you walk down the street and you saw someone getting some sort of something happening to somebody, you fill in the blank with whatever moves you, right? How many people would stop and help? How many people would keep walking? Now, take that same energy to witnessing the leader of a group of 10,000 lost souls, giving them false information to believe in, to go regurgitate to the people in their communities who is gonna weaken their position in life, make them emotionally incompetent, and destroy the community around each one of those individuals. Why would you not challenge them with the truth? If all you gotta do is have a conversation, we're not even asking you to pull out your gun and stop a bank robbery. We asking you to talk to someone about the truth. Maybe because you don't know the truth. But the point is, why does it offend you? This is why it offends you when the people show up who know the truth. See, you falling for the fallacy of good enough. You're comfortable with mediocrity because you feel like you're in a position where you have just enough of an angle in what you say that you can appear to be more than mediocre. So you feel like you can say that you're better. That's why you make these posts. And it's hundreds of you, it's thousands of you. I'm not picking on any one person in particular. See, I'm educating a nation. I'm building a nation. You trying to build a company. Like, we on two different levels. That's why you can't understand why this conversation is important. You trying to build a little company of 4 or 5 people, right? I'm trying to get together the GDP of a nation to meet and exceed the United States GDP, and we can be America again. We got 2 different missions. I'm not worried about your feelings. So comfort with mediocrity from many critics who settled for good enough, often out of fear of change or improvement. So this mindset can lead to complacency and stagnation, hindering progress in both personal and professional arenas. But you're comfortable with it. Because being wrong is easy. So you fit in with the people who don't want to put the work in to reach some level of perfection. I'm a Virgo. Perfectionist strike number 1. I'm a green belt. Perfectionist strike number 2. And I got a 34 1 score. Perfectionist strike number. I understand why y'all don't like me. It's because you don't know the value. I just get mad that I ain't gonna say I get mad. It's just I reached a point in my life where the people who value me the most want to pay me to destroy you in some way, shape, or form. That's what I see when I go to corporate America. That's why I go there and I get paid to learn. I learn what they know. They spent $10 billion on knowledge a year. I went in and I learned all of that shit while you just went in and was trying to make friends. That's why you still don't know nothing. But you're mad at me because I saw the value and I executed on the time that I had there. They are making $30 billion net a year. I'm learning all that processes. Then when I come to you and tell you I can help you with your bullshit ass processes, you mad I don't got a suit on. So you gonna go to the person with the suit because they look like they know what they doing, but they don't know shit. You gonna pay them $25,000 and get nothing. You could have gave me 17 and got everything. That's why you mad at me. That's why you hate us. And the sad part is, because sad means satisfied, the sad part is we know that about you and we don't penalize you because we know that you don't realize how childish you are. So we try to give you information. We plant the little seeds because we want you to grow. So just because something has been done a certain way for years, Mr. and Mrs. Consistency, we've been doing this like this for the last 25 years. Well, 25 years ago, you couldn't send a picture on a cell phone. So chances are there's probably a better way to do that process now, or to do that thing right now. That's called process optimization. See, the last project I led, not worked on, not worked with so-and-so, the last project I led for 3M, realized $750,000 in increased annual sales potential with just a one-time investment of $80,000. These are the type of conversations I have with experts. This is what I produce when I work with the right people. What that means for those who don't know words like that is it's a fancy way of saying I took a production line, I studied it. So y'all would have just ran out there and started doing stuff, right? Y'all would have consistently, the perfectionists sitting around planning and thinking, right? We're just gonna run here and do something. I studied it. I talked to the experts at all their, right? I got all that information and I put it through my brain. It's a computer. I put the inputs in and I gave output. And what I did is I took that production line from where it was and I enabled it to produce $750,000 more product a year, every year thereafter, for just a one-time investment of $80,000. So roughly in 10 years, they would have 100x their investment. This is why my clients is getting 35% total content engagement, while you up there paying someone 100 times what it would cost, and you only getting 0.6%, and they telling you it's good. You happy with that? Because they wore a suit and they ain't got no beard and they smiled. right? And see, let me tell you why that was important. That was important for me. The reason why I take it so seriously is because what I realized running the maintenance department, I'm at the plant, I'm running a team from the planner scheduler position. That means that everything, I'm responsible for all the integrity of all the assets in the entire plant. Yeah, me, Mr. No Degree, Mr. We hate perfectionism, all this stuff, right? All of the production equipment is what I'm talking about. All of the production equipment, no matter if the machine's a little machine, a big machine, a $2,000 piece of equipment, or a $2 million piece of equipment, I'm responsible for making sure that works by utilizing my team of electrical technicians, electronic tech specialists, and mechanical techs. Now, when you start just sending them out there because you don't know what you're doing and have them do stuff, cool. But when you get good, you can start to take in, like I did from the beginning, take into consideration that if I don't perfect their work environment and I send my team out there to a work site full of distractions, chaos, or imperfect standards and procedures, or what we call job plans, or you could say SOPs, and they are distracted by something, they really actually might not go home the same way they came to work that day. They're working on production equipment. My team can't afford for me to make a mistake. It's how I viewed my shit. It's how I viewed my department when I went to the higher ups all the way through to headquarters and stood up for my team and told them we're making changes and this is why. Even though my team might have said, because I'm the new guy. Remember, I don't have the engineering degree. I didn't have maintenance background. I just had a 34 100 score and could do things in the arena that needed to be done that nobody else there could perceive that high. So no, I don't do well with interviews because they're too busy judging me for he's wearing a jacket with metal studs on it and shit. And we don't know if that's a great first impression as we're having an interview at a call center with somebody walking by with sweat shorts on and a t-shirt, but you're going to judge me in the interview for having a studded jacket on when you got people walking around with sweat shorts and a t-shirt. But then you tell me, oh, but that's they can dress like that because they're already hired. We're concerned about you because we wanted you to be professional in the interview. And this is why that's the insanity I think everybody should consider. Are you a part of? But going back to it, when I send my team, I deploy my team, my techs, I consider their lives could be at risk if I make a mistake. See, the people on here talking about, oh, perfectionist is this and that. And they never had responsibility before. Apparently. They might be limited to their position and their view of, they might just be the people who are keying in keystrokes on a computer or sliding some paper across the desk to put some staples in it. You know, you could put the staple anywhere, but your surgeon can't. So you can look at what you do, you can look at your life and say, perfectionism, people think they're perfect, I'm gonna hate all this, but people's lives are at risk in some applications. We can't afford to make mistakes. And this is how, like I said, my team was like, hey, some of them been doing it for 30 years. They was getting ready to retire. So here I am coming in as the rookie, telling them what to do. You naturally know some of that didn't go well in the beginning, but guess what? They respect me now. Because all their complaints, when I studied them, hey, what's your complaint? This is what I'm gonna do. This is what my intentions are. We're gonna take it here. We're gonna go from here, and we're gonna take it there, and we're gonna make sure this, that, whatever. That ain't gonna work. I've been worked at a bunch of different places, and we always get shitted on. We the maintenance department. As long as them machines are produced, they don't care about it. Oh, is that how you feel? Okay, let me take note of that. We gonna change that shit right now. Is that how you feel here? Yeah. Okay, we gonna fix that right now. Man, you ain't gonna be able to do that like that, man. You ain't gonna be able to do. I've always stood up for my team. So when I stand up for the nation and get and lose everything fighting, trying to fight a court case to remedy toxic workplace in the entire nation, I've been doing this stuff my whole life. That was just the biggest thing I ever on that scale, and I failed at that one. I learned a lot. There's things I wasn't expecting, like them sabotaging my life, sabotaging my car. The term, I expect to get terminated, but at the time it happened. Like there was a lot of things that I learned from that shit. But I've been standing up for America my whole life. I've been fighting for Americans my whole life. See, I had the 2014 Benz E350 coupe after I had the CLK 320. Like I had what I wanted. I was moving the direction I wanted to go. But I'm always fighting these industry gatekeepers and stuff because they don't want me to get in position because they know I know too much. And if I get there, then they know things are going to change. You're there because you're easy to control. You're easy to manipulate. They helped you get there. Like don't come on my platform, Y-7 on my video, and then hit me up afterwards telling me what your higher ups think or feel or want to say about my video, because I didn't invite them on the video. This is why I like to deal with owners or producers, because they can do what they want. I'm not used to dealing with people who can't do what they want. I come from the block. Live or die, we did what we want. But we were respectful. I'm not saying go out here and destroy society or community. I'm saying build community. I'm saying you can be in an electronic engineer. You can be in an engineering role without having an engineering degree if you showcase the value. That's what I've done. That's why you can't gaslight me like you do the rest of them. See, I have the experience. So yes, when my team was telling me, hey, Pasha, we've been going through this for the last 30 years. Some of them, you're not going to be able to change nothing. And when I went in there and put the plans together and showed them this is what we're going to do and watch this make a difference, make an impact. And it happened and it worked. People who were in the industry 30 years, I had their respect. I'm not concerned if you don't respect me when you ain't took the time to know who I am. Because that's the definition of disrespect. You can't relate to what you don't know. That don't move me. That's your emotional ass. So I made those changes. I made those impacts. I increased machine uptime in the entire plant by 7% the first year I was in that position, which translated to about $2.6 to $3.2 million of net revenue. Myself, me and my team, with me quarterbacking, Mr. No degree, Mr. Non-engineering degree, Mr. No experience in maintenance. We did that. Mr. Perfectionist did that. What can you tell me when all you do is business coaching, telling somebody what you done got off of AI in a little pamphlet on how to improve their life in situations you ain't never even been through? No wonder you feel disrespected. So just because something has been done a certain way, like that production line had been done that way for so long, it had been making the money, the fiat currency for them for so long, but guess what? They had 3 production lines. So now with what I did for the 1, guess what? You can expand it into the 3. You can apply it to the other 2. And guess what that means? Now the plant doesn't have to consider moving to a bigger location somewhere else because it can make a third more production with the same footprint in that arena. We had a bunch of different stuff going on. But let's just say in that one section of production, now it can produce a third more, which saves the lives of the employees who was working there, who may not want to, if they move to who knows where. What's the chance that they're gonna stay in Charlotte if they move? Okay, so now the people who were built their lives around where the plant is now may or may not be able to continue with the job if it goes and moves 45 minutes away, or if it moves to Texas. So I was practicing perfectionism, whatever, because I knew lives depended on it. Y'all ain't had no responsibility. Y'all take care of y'all little kids. Y'all put little food on a table. Y'all keep a little roof, but you ain't had no national responsibility. You can't imagine that. So you can get online and talk about how perfectionism is so wrong and we don't need to be perfect and all that shit. Yeah, because you ain't had nobody but your little kids to worry about. And if shit fucked up for you, you got friends and family that you can go cohabitate with till you get your life back together. You hitting that enter key on the keyboard, or you putting that stapler in the top left corner or top right corner ain't gonna mean somebody get electrocuted working on some shit and don't go home to their family tomorrow. You ain't had real life responsibilities to understand what makes perfection important. So yeah, that machine was doing the same thing for 20 years, literally. And I adjusted it, and it might have saved the lives, or at least elongated the convenience factor of the lives for about 60 people that worked in that plant. But you hate me for being a perfectionist. But that's what saved those 60 people. So you think I give a shit about your little keyboard strokes, for your little emotional tantrum from a childlike mind on the internet? Because you ain't had no responsibility in life? Evolving standards, adaptation versus stagnation, like we said. So yeah, I take this shit serious. Y'all was having fun, right? Y'all was having fun, right? I'm having fun. I have fun with the truth. Y'all have fun with bullshit. So you get double hurt. You double hurt that you're dealing with a life of bullshit, and you double hurt that you got hit with the truth. I'm good. It's always a perfect day. I would have never had to do this video if y'all weren't up there acting like little kids being a fool. If I could look on my screen and see that America is being American and working together to produce While we in competition with China trying to take over shit, y'all complain about China want to buy up the land. Well, y'all need to get your businesses together so we can buy it up first. No, y'all too busy up here crying on about TikTok. Adaptation versus stagnation. The world is constantly changing and industries evolve. Those who resist change in favor for outdated methods not only stifle progress, but also risk becoming obsolete themselves, which is part of what the issue is. You hate the perfectionists because they are always innovating, which means that when you talk to them, you realize you've been doing the same thing for the last 25 years, which then puts you in a position, oh my God, I gotta change. I don't want to change, so I hate this person. But perfectionism is the driver of excellence. High standards lead to better outcomes. Striving for perfection often results in higher quality work, whether in products, services, or health outcomes. This commitment can lead to breakthroughs and advancement that benefits everyone. But your dumbass is sitting up there talking about, let's all get together and shadow ban perfectionists. Because we don't want the pursuit of improvement in our lives. Individuals who pursue perfection can inspire those around them with a brain to elevate their own standards and practices, forging a culture of excellence rather than mediocrity. I've always blamed that on what I call the humble campaign. Because the word humble means not proud. Oh yeah, they taught you something good because those people are ignorant, don't know, they'll believe anything. So now they out there praying for humble, right? But the word humble means not proud. And that's only a good thing if proud was something bad. So what does proud mean? Proud actually means noble, excellent, and splendid. Oh shit. So if humble is not proud, then they gave you a campaign, they gave you a programming so that you would hate everything that was noble, proud, and excellent in your community. So all of the people, all of the noble people, all of the proud people, places, and things. So all of the noble, excellent, splendid people, places, and things in your community, you've been brainwashed to hate, and then you wake up one day and wonder why you don't have shit in your community to be proud of. And then you like, look, there goes one more left. Let's get them too. You want to form a roundup like it's been done in the past for many different reasons. That's why you hear me say the new racism is consciousness. It's your thought process. So again, individuals who pursue perfection can inspire those around them if you allow them to. There's accountability in excellence. Demanding accountability. When people complain about perfectionists, they often overlook that accountability, and high standards are crucial. The high standards are crucial for success in any field. So accepting mediocrity can lead to a culture of blaming each other rather than responsibility, which is what started this whole thing. The talks in the comments, blaming the perfectionist for being a perfectionist so that they can feel better about their bullshit. The future depends on quality, right? Long-term success depends on quality, right? Companies and individuals who prioritize quality and perfection are more likely to succeed in the long run. Those who complain about perfectionism may inadvertently jeopardize their own futures. And a lot of y'all got to know by now, innovation requires risk, breaking the molds. Some of y'all have had tests done to y'all. Perfectionists aren't afraid to question the status quo. The willingness to innovate and challenge established norms can lead to significant advancements that benefit society as a whole. That's building a better future. It's called a legacy of excellence. Those who strive for the perfection leave a legacy that raises the bar for future generations. You hear me say often, most of what we are dealing with here, that the problems that most of y'all complain about have been problems for the last 50 or 70 years. 50 or 70 years. Some of y'all can't stay in relationships for 6 months because you're talking about the problems y'all have. But then you get up here in society and say, no, we don't want a perfectionist. We don't want to perfect society. We don't want to change this. This is great. And then you're complaining about problems that we've had in society for 50 to 70 years, but yet you want to jump out of your relationship in 6 months because of the problems you had. You see how the double standard, how hypocritical you are, but you don't know it. This is why America views a lot of the United States mentality as insanity. Y'all say a bunch of stuff that sounds good, but your actions say that you're insane. Because you keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting something different. And then what? When the perfect comes, the imperfect disappear. So certain industries now, and we'll get ready to close here shortly, certain industries thrive on precision, accuracy, and high standards. Now, this is where you get to really know that you're a fool for saying that there's something wrong with the people who strive for perfection in life and business. Certain industries thrive on precision, accuracy, and high standards, making them ideal for perfectionists. I'm gonna give you a list of them. Here's 10. Grab your pens and paper, grab your notebook, grab your sketchbook, whatever. Because when I was in production, before I became the leader of the maintenance department, I was cutting pieces. I was built. Well, we weren't making Post-its at our 3M plant. We weren't making Post-its. We weren't making tape. We were making liquid degasification applications. I know that's a mouthful for some of y'all. You know, on the small end, they were installed in large industrial printers to take the gases, bubbles out of the ink so that your products can be printed properly. On the high end, on the big scale, our products, our applications were developed and utilized on offshore oil rigs to degasify the oil during extraction. When I left, the fabric was being tested for the NASA spacesuit by NASA. When I left, I had reached the position of vice chairman of the maintenance and reliability chapter for 3M Global. I'm talking about calls on the line with Singapore. I'm talking about meetings with the plant in Delaware, telling them, okay, this what's wrong with y'all ain't try this, y'all ain't do that. Okay, I'm gonna send this over to HQ and get a team dispatched to come and resolve this, because I think this is what the problem is. Yo, HQ, yo, vice president of da-da-da-da, look this over, tell me if you agree, and then dispatch the team. Oh shit, yeah, this looks good. We're gonna have them out there in about 2 weeks. This is what I was doing. While y'all, we don't like perfectionists. I'm perfecting shit globally. Right? I've project managed security installs for electronic security in Tennessee, DC, Virginia, North and South Carolina from North Carolina Computer. I've led the project remotely to do security installs at the Pentagon. And you want to talk to me about how you feel about perfection? Think I give a shit? And I want you to take everybody that feels just like you over there. That's why I support this shit. I support this shit because I want to see who feels the same way, so y'all can all go over there, so I can be left with the real, with the true right here with me, so we can build something for real. Because y'all don't know what y'all don't know. Y'all don't know how dumb y'all sound, and you need to go to some of the other people, some of the lower level leadership, some of the lower level coaches. You know what I mean? Like, you start in kindergarten, and then you go to first grade, and then second grade, and then third grade. And that's why you feel like, oh, Pasha talking about rocket science, we ain't got time for that, because you're in kindergarten. So go over there to kindergarten and let me deal with the rocket scientists. Oh, you got your PhD in med tech. Okay, go over there with the med techs, with the nurses, with a 17 Wonderlic score. That's why you mad, because y'all only need a 17. I got 34, and I'm not even probably the list. Yeah. Okay, that's why you mad. I didn't mean to offend you. I didn't know you didn't test well. I didn't know going to college, reading a book, and repeating what the book said was hard for you. Because you can easily repeat how many points LeBron scored last night on the Lakers. I didn't realize that reading a book and repeating the information was difficult. That's all you got to do. Oh, I didn't realize you didn't care about scores, but you made sure you passed. You had the right score to pass your college degree because you had $80,000 a year on the line, right? I didn't realize you were such a hypocrite. But I'm okay with you blaming me, because it shows the level of emotion, the highest level of emotional consciousness that you've reached in observation. And we're okay with that display. So go ahead back to kindergarten, because we need you to, you know how to, y'all had Thanksgiving. I don't celebrate holidays. For the people who believe in that shit, y'all went to y'all family, like y'all, like there wasn't 364 other days you could have done this. And y'all gathered around, and you know, when they cooked the pie, it might not have been done all the way when they checked it. So they put it back in the oven. So we checked on you because you looked like you were ready, but you weren't ready. So we put you back in the oven so you can get done. So go ahead back over there with your hating ass and get done. And when you get done, I might check on you, because they're like, Pasha, you get rid of people and then you show up like 2 years later asking how they doing and stuff. Yeah, because I'm seeing if you've developed yet. I put the pie, I put the turkey back in the oven, and we went out in life, to the living room and was doing shit. And then we come back and we check on the pie or the turkey in the oven to see if it's done yet. But they dumbass is talking about, he came back, he gonna come back. He came back on me, he gonna come back on. Yeah, I check on if you ready or not yet. I never wanted to leave you behind. But you refuse to grow with me. You refuse to grow with us. So healthcare is an absolute area where you want perfection. When's the last time you went to your doctor and said, you know what? I got good insurance. You know what I mean? I could come here once a week for the next 6 months with the budget I got. Try some things. Just try. I don't really want you to get it right. You don't need to get it right. My life may or may not be on the line if you make a mistake, but who cares? Like, you don't have to be perfect, doc. I'm here, you're here. Let's just see what happens. Who does that? The importance of precision can be a matter of life or death, and surgeons and nurses must adhere to strict protocols and make accurate decisions to ensure patient safety and successful outcomes. But you in the comments, you on LinkedIn posting, we hate perfection. We don't, it's such an inconvenience. Okay. Go to the ER. Let them know that. Let them know that you're one of the ones that don't care if they get it right, so that they can be hasty with you and then really apply themselves to the ones that give a fuck. I mean, but am I offending you with the truth? Did you realize? Damn, that would be fucked up. Like, if you checked your bank account when you got paid, for those who have a job and get paid on a regular basis, and it was off by $247, and you call up your bank and your bank say, hey, look, you should be happy with us. We consistently put some money into your account. Mr. and Mrs. Consistency is where it's at. Yay! Fuck perfection. Who needs perfection when you can be consistent in life? Consistently doing the wrong shit will get you. It's better than perfection, though. Living a vida loca. Right? Call up your bank. Ask them where your $247 is, and let them tell you, well, you know, we consistently put some money in there. I mean, it's some money in there, right? Oh, see, we consistent. Nah, you gonna want them to be perfectionism, right? Perfectionist. Because see, accuracy in financial reporting, transactions, and compliance with regulations all of a sudden became crucial for you. Perfectionists help maintain trust and reliability in managing people's finances and investments. So you basically saying, oh, I guess now you can appreciate why now you call customer service and you sit on hold for 45 minutes and you get someone who really don't appreciate you, really don't want to help you, and they're probably hoping that you do have a problem that they can't solve, so they can tell you gotta call back or wait for this other department or supervisor to talk to you because they don't want to deal with your shit. But I mean, they're consistent. Some of y'all hopped on a plane to go see family, friends, functions, right? Yo, I was traveling the last 4 to 6 weeks in the sky, sitting in a chair, connected to a panel that's screwed to a wing with a couple motors on it, spinning at thousands of RPMs. But you didn't need any of that to go perfectly for you, right? Because the aerospace industry demands one of the highest levels of precision in design, manufacturing, and maintenance of its aircraft. Safety is paramount, and even minor errors can have catastrophic consequences. But what were you saying about perfection? Let's get you on that plane. Let's put you on the imperfect plane, because that's the one you want, right? You don't want to support what you hate. You don't want to support the people who take their time and went through life wanting to be perfect, right? You want to talk shit about them. So let's make sure your ticket is on the most imperfect plane. And let's make sure you go on the farthest distance in the air, because that's what you want, right? That's going to make you comfortable, right? Right? Engineering in general, right? Civil, mechanical, engineers must ensure that designs and structures are built to exact specifications to prevent failures. Oh, but those are the perfectionists that contribute to the integrity and safety of infrastructure. Because when you going over that bridge over the river that you paid the toll of $20 for, when you going through the tunnel in DC, right? You don't care about perfection. You don't care that there's a whole Chesapeake Bay over top of your head. You don't care about perfection when there's a whole ocean underneath you and you're doing 45, 70 miles an hour in the middle lane. You don't care about perfection. With your kid in the child seat in the back, you don't care, right? You're hoping they were imperfect, right? Right? All the complaints about big pharma, all the complaints wanting to be lawsuits, right? Like we said, we talked about the construction people, the engineers. So drug development and production require stringent quality control to ensure safety and efficiency or efficacy. Perfectionists play a key role in that. Even though we may not want big pharma, period, what they do, perfectionists play a key role in adhering to regulations and maintaining those high standards. Theatrical humor, killing you softly with their song, killing you softly, right? Because it could be harsh. What about, so you don't want your drug company to get it right? Right? You don't want your heart medicine to be perfect, right? Let me know, because you had a lot of posts. You know what I'm saying? There were 7,000 million comments underneath of it in support of ignorance. Right? What about your IT and software development? The software development, the attention to detail required, critical for coding, debugging, ensuring system security. Those are perfectionists. Helping to create reliability, efficient software solutions. When you call IT at your little volunteer slavery, that's the perfectionist is helping you get your computer back up. But nah, you don't want to talk to perfectionists, right? When you put your card in the ATM and get the cash out with the cocaine and the ink, that's the perfectionist that came and wired that up. Matter of fact, I used to deploy the team to go do the installs for security for PNC. Right? We know how the ATMs is rigged up. But that's the perfectionist for you. You don't want the perfection to make sure your ATM work. Right? What about the legal service team? You gonna call because you can't even present your own case in court. So you gonna call the lawyer. You know what I mean? You facing 25 years to life. Well, shit, depending on what you did, what state you're in, life is 15 years. But you pick the scenario for entertainment purposes. It's not legal advice. It's not medical advice. It's entertainment. I'm entertaining y'all with how hypocritical society is, and then you blame me for your own ignorance. And the people like me, you want to attack us because you get 2,000 likes when you post some ignorant ass shit. You feel like something you don't even realize you don't know what you're talking about because you're just surrounded by ignorance that support ignorance. And it's not a bad thing. The bad thing is, I'm gonna say it's not a negative thing. The negativity is that when you're presented the option to improve, like we talked about earlier, you wanna remain mediocre. It's okay if you don't know what you don't know, but once you know of the potential, you become accountable. So I don't blame you for not knowing, because we all didn't know some shit at some point in our life. See, that's the truth. That's what happens when you adhere to the truth. You understand the truth. The truth is, we was all born not knowing nothing. Matter of fact, that's a great example. Let's go with it. You was born, your ass didn't know how to walk. You perfected that shit in those heels, didn't you? Nah. Let's give you an ignorant ass walk. Let's have you clumsy and tripping all the time, because you don't need perfection in your life, right? Go ahead, take the stairs. Oh, okay. Okay. That's what I thought. Lawyers and legal professionals must ensure precision in documentation, research, and case preparation, but you wouldn't know that because you never won a court case. You never even tried to go present your own case. Perfectionists contribute to toughness, thoroughness, and accuracy in legal proceedings. It's not for the weak or faint at heart. I don't want court cases. I look forward to your debate. It's exercise. What about quality control? Right? You drinking your Monster Energy drink. You don't mind if they messed up the formula and I don't know, gave you too much of something and your heart medicine don't work with it well, right? Then you get to go back to the doctor who, hey, let's not worry about getting it right again. Like, you don't want perfection in your life. You don't want to make sure the gas you put in your car was properly strained, right? So you can get to the ER. You don't really care if the ambulance driver and the paramedics, when you need them, um, know what they're doing or not, right? I mean, who cares if the seatbelt worked in a crash? Most of us don't wear it anyway, right? Man, the airbag's there, but it's okay if it don't go off when you need it to, because that would be perfect. Y'all don't want perfection. Y'all want random games of chance when your life depends on it the most. So in manufacturing and production, perfectionists are essential for maintaining product quality and safety standards. They ensure that products meet rigorous specifications before reaching consumers. Yeah, I'm the one that was responsible for the ISO audits, for the OSHA audits. Y'all just putting staples on some paper. I can understand why you ranting about perfectionist is too hard. We just want to consistently just put the staple in the paper. Who cares where it is? It makes sense. That's low value. It's low risk activities that speak like that. And then lastly, to put it all together, the creatives, the creative industries, your graphic designers, your film people, your photographers. Like you do photography, a lot of, well, unless you're doing, when you're doing high value, high level photography like me used to do, you only get one chance in life to get that shot. You'll never be able to make it what it was when you should have got it again, ever. But you don't want perfection when you're paying. I didn't do weddings because I didn't want to wear a suit or a tuxedo in August outside in the sun so somebody can have pictures when they're gonna most likely be divorced in 6 years. I'd rather do the club. I'd rather do the photo shoots, the creative stuff. I mean, not that you couldn't be creative at weddings. I didn't want to do the tuxedo thing, but I'm the specialist, so I get to choose what I want to do. You out there doing it all. Okay? We could go to the club and get 4,300 in a night. Like I said, we got different experiences in life. I'm not one of those people to just say things because you just say things. No, don't assign that bullshit to me. I live multiple lives, get to the top, perfect the shit, and then because I'm a perfectionist, I get bored once I perfect it, and then I leave to go perfect the next thing in life. Like part of why I left 3M. I built the shit to where it was, the department, the calendar, the schedule, the machines, the SOPs, everything. I could have literally sat there in that chair in that office every day, unless something crazy happened with the company, for till it was time for me to retire, and just basically, have minimum shit come up. It would have been a routine thing from then on because I built it from scratch to what it was and made it perfect. And that shit would have bored me to fucking death. So I said, well, I know society get ready to crash with with the coming stock market collapse before most people did. It's time for me to go. Let me go start my next challenge. Let me start my own business. I really don't want to go anywhere else and do anything else. Let me invest in me. And then it's been an up and down since. But I'm so glad to be able to have this opportunity to do what we're doing and build America in the way that we're building it. Okay. So the creative industry, graphic design, film editing. Go to the movies and watch your favorite of whatever movie you like. And let the splices not be right. Let the cuts not be right. Let the sound be off. Oh no, you're not gonna be one of the critics in the reviews talking about how poor the movie was, how bad the movie was done, right? You don't need perfection. You're okay if your tires wobble at 100 miles an hour. Right? So in creative fields, attention to detail can enhance the quality of the final product, which applies to everything in life. Perfectionists help ensure that visual and auditory elements are polished and effectively convey the intended message. Said another way, we make it perfect. And what happens in success is when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. And said a different way, when the perfect comes, the imperfect disappears. And they run to their little corner of LinkedIn and Facebook, and they punch them little keystrokes, and they talking shit about you, the perfectionist, because ultimately they really hate themselves. And instead of actually saying that, they rather blame you for striving to achieve what you know the world deserves. Yeah, I put that work in on this one for you. I'm not emotional, but if I was, y'all bullshit ass shit would be offensive. But I understand that y'all just little kids that don't know any better. So I don't blame you. I just give you the opportunity to learn what you have no fucking clue about. So you can stop wasting our time and we can do some real shit, or you can just get the fuck out the way. Pasha Paroh, YNS7. Thank you for tuning. Hit me up. I'm Brandon America. Like I said, reducing codependency on big government, large corporations by empowering we the people to create sustainable communities. I want to work with 15 solid people only in 2025. That's it. I got 12 spots remaining. If you got some real shit you want done, you got some real goals, some real challenges, and you need a motherfucker that can see, that ain't gonna bullshit you, and you got a budget, and you ready to work, let's talk. Because I want to make sure we can work well together before we get started on anything. And then, if I think that you're real, we can do some real shit. All right? I'm Pasha Paroh. Thank you for tuning.